Tell me about your dress. Tell me about your dress.
I have to ask you,
Who are you wearing? Who are you wearing?
who did the dress?
Who are you wearing? We gotta know.
From movie premieres to award shows, Hollywood red carpet events have long been obsessed with the glam and glitz of the industry's leading ladies.
I have to ask you, who did the dress?
That is spectacular.
But with the push to ask more substantial questions, rather than what are you wearing, the long-held obsession may all change.
A vision in red, a vision in blue.
Is Hollywood undermining female talent during a time when we should be acknowledging their accomplishments?
Honestly, I feel like I'm getting kind of boring saying how hot she looks because when does she not look like a total goddess? What's new?
If that's the case, former actress Jennifer Newsom has had enough.
My purpose and passion in life really is to elevate women and men up in our culture.
Launching the Ask Her More campaign, Newsom has reset the agenda and inspired celebrities, media, and audiences alike to push for more thoughtful questions on the red carpet.
Robin Noonan wants to know, if acting didn't work out, what was your backup plan?
Wow, Robin, that's a good question.
Ask Her More made its debut on Twitter as audiences were encouraged to post the questions they would like to ask. Questions based on aspirations, achievements, and advice.
I'd love to know what you're working on now. What's next?
Have you heard from families who are saying, hey, thank you?
Any advice?
Actress Reese Witherspoon joined the campaign and asked her Instagram followers to do the same.
We women work really hard to develop these performances, and sometimes it feels a little bit like we don't want to be reduced to just a dress and an outfit, you know?
Witherspoon received a huge amount of support from other actors with the hashtag #AskHerMore movement on Twitter. Girl star Lena Dunham said, "Ask her about the causes she supports, not her support garments." Maria Shriver says we need to change the line, "What are you wearing?" to "What do you care about?"
Have you noticed that carpet questions have changed?
100%. I've really noticed that the media has taken that on as a sign of pride, and I think it's exciting for the journalists too because they want to ask those kind of questions.
Witherspoon isn't the only star who's climbed on board. Amy Poehler is using her website, Amy Poehler's Smart Girls, to push for the change. As host of the 2015 Golden Globes, she certainly can use her influence for good. So, users uploaded alternative questions, and in upholding her promise, the questions were asked. Women Action and the media representative, Jacqueline Friedman, weighs in on the discussion.
And I should say up front, and I said this to you all before we went live, I love looking at the fashion on the red carpet and elsewhere. I love fashion in general. And I think there's a place for that, but certainly not leading with it and the focus being more on what are you wearing, who made it, than talk to us about your industry and your art and the hard work that went into the performance that you're maybe being recognized for tonight. You know, what does this all mean to you? What does it mean to be a woman in this industry, which is really complicated about women? There are so many interesting things we could talk about, but as it is, you could really watch the red carpet with just on mute and just look at the dresses.
We're changing the dialogue, we're changing the conversation, we're changing the culture just through women recognizing that they actually have an opportunity to challenge the media and say, ask us more.
Do you do that to the guys?
You get the really interesting existential question, and I get the rabbit food question.
I'd like to see the mainstream outlets do real journalism in those interviews, right? Ask real questions that engage a conversation that opens up our worlds, right? About what it means to be an actor or a writer or director or whoever it is that you're interviewing. What is the work like? What is the industry like? There are so many questions.
Writer and gender activist Soraya Chamley says what's really missing is the focus on substance. But can the argument be justified? From a marketing view, it wouldn't be hard for the issue to be placed out of context in order to create hype or a so-called new trend on the red carpet.
I think it's important to put the red carpet in the broader context, the visual culture we live in and the very sexually objectifying culture we live in. And so a lot of it is fun and a lot of it is entertaining and it's really beautiful and people get a lot of enjoyment out of it because it's all of those things, but it's so unbalanced.
New York Magazine columnist Maureen O'Connor believes fashion is an industry currency. Not to mention, the fast-moving red carpet is not the place for in-depth interviews.
If ever there is a place in America, where it's appropriate to ask a woman about her clothing, it's probably on the red carpet at the Academy Awards. I mean, you could have Bob Woodward on the red carpet. I don't think he's going to penetrate some actress's soul in the course of a few seconds. I think it's sort of silly to say you can only talk about the acting when you're this person who's a professional, who had a professional deal in order to get that dress to wear it on the red carpet, and who a huge part of their sort of career is that people like to look at them.
eFashion's correspondent Louise Rowe says the campaign is almost bewildering the style.
Do I think it's important to ask about the dress? Yes, there's a huge team of people that went behind this decision. The hair, the makeup, the stylist, even the spray tanner. The whole thing is a work of art, in my opinion.
Touching on the business side of things, Lupita Nyong'o received an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress and was a huge fashion hit, which led to a fashion deal with beauty brand Lancôme. Some would argue this was empowerment in its own way. While fashion is Hollywood, the industry does have a reputation for double standards. Selena Gomez graced the Transylvania 2 premiere in Mexico earlier this year in a designer silk two-piece, while her co-stars were in comfy shirts and sneakers. But when Games of Thrones star Maisie Williams ditched her heels for sneakers, she got all the attention.
I'm going to open the Washington Post on Monday, and there are going to be, 12 pictures of women in dresses, and people are going to be giving them the thumbs up or the thumbs down because, ew, they don't like that thing over there, right? And then the rest of it's going to be, and these amazing directors and producers and these narratives, and that's the exact split you described.
So I just don't want anyone at home to be getting the idea that, like, it's not okay to have fun looking at fashion, right? Like, that's not the point. The point is that's the only thing that women get to do in Hollywood.
In every one of these dresses is a human being with a brain, and we seem to forget that. We're just like, oh, let's just look at that beautiful dress, and all the work that Imran talks about, all of their efforts, all of their passions are really irrelevant at that point.
So what now? Newsman can only hope the industry achieves its balance.
We're not saying don't ask people what they're wearing or don't value their beauty, but we're also so much more than what we're wearing and what we look like. And that's really the message here.
Roseanne Scott reporting.